me, keep a 20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Real, I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white off full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rant some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on this one. Country thinking I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the Juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him. No love lost, she get the business. No love lost, still the motto.
Hello, welcome in. This is Birds of a Feather Podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is the Hawks Pod. Man, y'all, so been away for a little minute, and the Hawks, they have surprisingly been on a little run, a little streak. So this comes on the heels of a 2-game losing streak to the Mavs and the Nuggets, two of the more premier teams in the league. Can't really, hold anything against them. But overall, the team has been on the uptick.
Yeah.
And when I'm looking at them, bro, it's a very hard question, right? Because we talked about Patrick Ewing effect. We talked about what good is a 10 seed. But now we really asking the question. And that's really the name of the episode is are we better without Trey? And that's not a great question to be asking, right? So when you really, it's not a great question to be asking, bro. And as a Hawks fan, it's not something that I really want to entertain. But sometimes the kind of speaks for itself. Now,
maybe
not going to get to
Dejounte and Jalen, man.
That's how it's looking. You know what I'm saying? Not to get too far ahead of ourselves. So with the loss versus the Nuggets, we're guaranteed another losing season, right? So it's not like this is a 50-win team, right? It's not like we're world beaters and Trey was holding us back there. For the most part, we've really just been playing slightly above 500 ball with him out, right?
Yeah.
But we were 8 games under 500 with him in. And I think that kind of lends to one of the deeper, one of the bigger conversations on what is the direction of this team long term? Can we continue to build around Trey? Does he work with DJ? It seems like they have a really good relationship. You know what I'm saying? But does he work? Do they work together? And then where does Jalen fit in all this? Because the big change in how the team played, record-wise, how the team was moving, was when Jalen came back, into the lineup off of his injury. And so, just overall, man, tell me what you thought of the team this year.
Been a mess, honestly. I mean,
this is true.
I feel like they've been underperformers. I feel like they haven't played their best ball, but I just don't think this roster and the coach is a fit. Even though this is the team that he has put together, I just don't think it's it's something that's not mentioned. It could be Trey, it could be the coach, it could be a number of variables, but it's just looking a mess because this team should be better than it is. They shouldn't be struggling to get to a playing game.
And that's really what it is at this point in time. So we have officially eliminated Brooklyn, right? So we have the possibility to slide into the 9 spot. It's kind of like an outside possibility. Hold on, let me pull that one up real quick. Because I know right now we're 36-52 or 36-42. Mm-hmm. So, we're a game behind the Bulls, but we don't have a tiebreaker. So technically it's like we're 2 games behind with 4 games left. So and we don't play them again. So that's really hard. Yeah, that's really hard. We don't have any chance of getting the 8 seed. There was a point where we had an outside chance of getting up to the 6. That's long gone. There's a log jam, you know what I'm saying, from about 2 to 6. They're all separated by about 2 games. Now, once again, it's only 4 games left. It's very hard to make up a bunch of space. Um, the Magic might mess around and get the 2 seed. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Bucks hold on to it. Celtics, the Celtics might have to either play the Heat or the 76ers in the first round. Now, with us in the 10th spot, right? How this looks, we would have to, just to make the actual playoffs, we have to go to Chicago, right? Win in Chicago, and then we would have to face the loser of Philly, Miami, and beat them. And in their home.
That's not a good look.
That is incredibly hard, right? And so, like, for me personally, it doesn't make a lot of sense to try to bring Trey back. From what I heard, he had a setback anyway, and so it's not like he was. Initially, his prognosis had him to where he could have been able to play around the play-in, and they've kind of ruled that all the way out. Goes back to one of the conversations we had a couple weeks ago. Has Trey played his last game as a Hawk? You know,
It's a possibility. It's not a 0%. So,
and that's really what it boils down to. Is it's not like a, hey, we're just gonna reload around him, waiting for him to, we can't wait for him to get back or anything like that. There's a lot of guys' future who's up in the air. You know,
yeah.
DeJounte's future is kind of up in the air. It looks like Jalen is a cornerstone. It looks like that is somebody that, and I know people like he 16 points a game. If you're watching the games, right? If you're watching the games, he's popping every single game, bro.
Yeah, he definitely impacts the game every game in some way, whether it be scoring, whether it be even facilitating. He's not the strongest defender, but he's showing improvement. He's affecting the game, and that's really all you can ask for out of your young players.
And your shooters are playing off him, right? Your shooters are playing off him pretty well. Bogey's really underappreciated. It would suck to lose him for nothing.
I think this could be a reach, but I think that Jalen probably has the type of talent to where you could put a team around him. Like, I think this team is more suited for him than it would be Trey, because like, you put shooters around Jalen and he can slash. He can also hurt you on the perimeter a little bit. But like, I look at Jalen as kind of in that Ben Simmons like esque mold.
Well, see, my only thing about it is I don't think he's a primary ball handler enough. Yeah, one. Well, that's one. He's not the defender.
He's not the ball handler, but he can give that to you in spurts though. Like you can run a play through him.
But one of the big things that stopped Philly consistently was the fact that, one, you could shoot Ben off the floor, really, right, on the offense.
Jalen can shoot though. Jalen can score in more ways than Ben can, and that's why he may not have the playmaking, but he gives that off for a little more scoring ability.
Yeah. That would. I think that's where I was going to end up anyway, right? Is that, like, you could kind of shoot Ben off the floor. You can't necessarily do that with Jalen, but if you were to just say, okay, we're going to build around him, he doesn't have the playmaking skills to run a fully fluid offense.
Like he would be your secondary ball handler.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I like if they were to keep it as currently constructed with Trey being out, is DeJounte is your one and then him as your second option. You can do a lot of different things, because like DeJounte can play off the ball, and so can Jalen. So in them times where you kind of just want to be like, all right, we're going to defer to Jalen, you can do that and it won't hurt anything, because you still have a primary ball handler on the court just in case you need to, shift back.
Now, the crazy part is I don't think that Trey unlocks. I think that Trey being a primary ball handler,
he's very ball dominant.
he's ball dominant, right? So like I think that would benefit that him and Jalen working together and getting rid of DeJounte would actually be like if you were gonna break it up, would on paper be the pairing that you wanted, but like in actual practice, like in actual practicality, you take so much of Jalen's game away because of how ball dominant Trey is.
Yeah, yeah. So like you could make a conversation for either fit, but personally, I like the Jalen Dejounte fit better. This isn't say I don't like Trey, so y'all don't get on here in these comments talk about he's hating on. That's not it. I just think from a basketball fit standpoint, I think Dejounte and Jalen are a more natural fit because I feel like they got the synergy that you need to where they can play off each other a little better.
And the crazy part is DeJounte during this run, I think he's only had like 3 or 4 games in which he's averaged over 8 assists. You know what I'm saying? Like the ball, excuse me, the ball is moving, but like it's not like how it is with Trey, where one person is getting a lion's share of the assists, one person is like usage super high, that's all flowing through one person. It's the whole reason that you got DeJounte to begin with, is to take some of that load off of Trey. And it seems like they defer to each other a little bit too much. But I think what you wanted to see, you're actually seeing with DeJounte and Jalen right now. Just Jalen isn't putting up the scoring output that you would expect Trey to put up, right? Because Trey had a stretch where he was averaging 30 and 10 for like 6-7 games. It was crazy. You know, like DeJounte or Jalen's not going to give you that. And that's what makes it hard to kind of say you want to let that type of talent go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I understand it definitely is, but I mean, where this team is currently constructed, what is this, like the third year being a playing team, third, fourth year, something like that?
It's third year in a row being a playing team, and this is so. If you look at the trajectory,
take a hard look in that mirror.
Yeah, like I want to kind of hold right there for a minute. So like, Hawks fans, like he's saying, take a look in the mirror. Is like look at the trajectory of a team and kind of juxtapose it to the trajectory of the league, right? So like 2018, you draft Trey, right? You're expected to be bad. You don't like you're gonna have a bad year. Rookie point guard, all that. 2019, y'all have a somewhat bad year, right? Not overly good, not overly bad. 2020 gets cut short, right? Y'all don't get invited to the bubble. 2021, which is more and more and more looking like a Fugazi year, bro.
Yeah.
The more you look back on 2021, right? Huh?
That's the Eastern Conference year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Eastern Conference Finals year. And the more you look back on that season, and I'm not just talking about the Hawks, like the bigger picture. Look at the Bucks. The Bucks haven't made it back to the finals. I don't think they've made it to the Eastern Conference Finals since they won that championship. The Suns have completely imploded since they won that championship, right? Like that 2021 season is the what's it called? The 76ers. Damn near nobody's on that team anymore. It looks like that 2021 season looks more and more fugazi every time you look at it, right? But you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. The next year, you have all them quotes coming out. Oh, it's kind of boring. The regular season's kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? And what happens?
Oh, yeah.
You get waxed in the first round by Miami.
Yeah, because I wasn't feeling it because Trey was talking like that, like we arrived, like, and that just kind of gave a false sense of a bravado, you know.
And I was looking at that like that really should have been like a 50-win team.
Yeah.
Struggled to 43, 44 wins, stuck in the play-in, had a super good play-in game, waxed in the first round, right?
Yeah.
The following year, stuck in the play-in, waxed by Miami in the first round.
Yeah.
The previous year, I think they got beat by. I think they got beat by the Bucks in the first round. It's either Bucks or because the Celtics beat the Nets. Then they got beat by the Bucks in the first round. Then you get smashed by Miami the next year. This is the third year in a row you're going to be in the play-in off of the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, conversely, look at other teams in the league, bro. Denver in 2020 made made a Western Conference Finals, right?
Yeah.
Jamal Murray got hurt at 21. 22, they made Western Conference Finals. 23, they won the championship. 24, they're the number one seed.
Yeah.
There's clear progression for a team that made the conference finals, right?
But
especially a quote unquote young team.
That's also a team that understands how to build around their talent. I'm not so sure that the rosters that we have been constructing, well, we ain't been constructing nothing, but I'm not so sure that the rosters they have constructed have not been conducive to maximizing like Trey or the other talent we have on this team. Like in theory, the DeJounte trade looks better because like you get an attack dog on defense and someone that could defer the trade, but Trey's still very ball dominant.
Yeah, and look what Kevin Huerter's doing in Sacramento.
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying, like
what I envisioned when we got in DeJounte, I envisioned like maybe Trey could take on more of a Steph Curry role, coming off screens and off ball, and letting DeJounte be his version of a Klay Thomas. He's not the shooter, Thompson, but he's not the shooter that Klay is, but at the same time, you get that dynamic to where those two have that unreal energy and all of that, but it just hasn't manifested.
To me, the team that I feel like we are most positioned to look like is actually the Trailblazers with Dame and CJ.
I can see that.
That's the team I feel like we. No. I feel like the thought was for it to be like the Warriors. I feel like the reality of what we're getting is the Dame and CJ Warriors, is the Dame and CJ Trailblazers.
That reality has shown that it cannot work.
It can't. It can't long term. And all they kept missing was a playmaking wing, right? And so, okay, yeah, we got the Jalen Johnson playmaking wing. But like if you look at the wings that went through the Trailblazers at that time, they thrived in other areas.
Yeah.
Right? They thrived in other areas because
two ball dominant guards. One of them who was immensely ball dominant, and then, with DeJounte being also a point guard by trade, when he get the ball, he gonna want it. So that kind of just like leaves like where are you leaving for Jalen at that point unless one of the out of the lineup. So if you want to maximize Jalen, one of them got to go.
And that's what it really boils down to. And that's a tough situation. You gave up a hell of a lot for DeJounte, and Trey is kind of seen as your franchise. But at a certain point, the record speaks for itself. You are 36-42. And if I'm not mistaken, since the trade, you're probably 5 or 6 games under 500. Because I don't think they finished with a 500 record last year.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like the move, it created more of a splash than it probably should have. But because he was doing his thing in San Antonio, he showed the defensive chops that you like. He showed the capability to run an offense, the capability to score, and that really kind of just like I feel like he was an ascending player, and you putting him with Trey, that's probably wasn't the best fit.
Even though they like each other, and it seems like they don't have any like it seems like they don't have any like ill will on the court. Like it's not a whole bunch of my turn, your turn type. Like we got issues with each other.
They legitimately seem like it's a good relationship between them on and off the court. It's just sometimes just because you like the person doesn't mean it's the right fit though. It's part of the battle, but I mean, hey, sometimes the player you need might not be the player you like.
Yeah, you might need just like a really super defensive two. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna keep Trey, you might just need a stalwart defensive two. You know what I'm saying? And all your offense comes from like Bogey, Jalen. You got Oneku spotting up in the corner. Like you're running weird stuff with your offense. I don't think I
Yeah,
would love Clint to be back, but like
uh, I, I, I,
I think they're gonna move
I'm,
away from
I'm,
him, which is
I think they
crazy.
need to, because I don't think it's crazy. I like Clint, but I just don't feel like he's what we need on this current team. Because like something I would probably like to see, kind of make your choice on either or. At this point, I would probably prefer DeJounte because you can get more for Trey back. That's just purely what it is. You're not going to get what you gave up for DeJounte. So
I mean, a sucker's born every day, bro. Like,
it is, but it's unlikely because they're gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna give you that. I'll give you this, and you can take it and like it, and that's gonna be it. Or you could probably move Trey, and you can get considerably more. Probably get a more defensive minded two, like some like a 3-and-D guy at the two, who don't really got to handle the ball that much. Who's just gonna be really good at his role, and that way you raise the floor of your defense.
I actually wouldn't be opposed to like a true 3-and-D at the three. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? And
Jay,
you're
because like it depends on where you want to use Jalen though. Like, do you want to use Jalen at the three? Cause I know Jalen can play the four, but I look at Jalen as he's a really a combo. He's a combo forward. Like you can use him
yeah, that's what I'm
anywhere.
saying. He's a combo 3-4. So like, and once again, like games damn near it's not damn near positionless, but like there's a lot of interchangeability, right? So like
Yeah,
playing him next to somebody who is a non-shooter, very defensive slashing type,
yeah,
doesn't you're more so concerned about spacing and defensive capability than
yeah,
you are really like who's a three, who's a four. Like
yeah,
if
yeah.
I had
Because
if I
I don't
had
think it really matters at that point. So yeah, I agree with you.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had Jalen Johnson next to Jonathan Isaac, then like it doesn't matter who's the three or who's the four. That's like that's gonna be a hard matchup for him to, really operate because like Isaac's clogging up the lane. But like if I have you next to Marcus Smart, who can quote unquote play the three, like
I don't want that man at the three. Well, I mean, but I think, but a Marcus Smart dude, even though in theory he would be the three, he would be taking on the point guard on defense.
yeah. No,
It would be
but
like a
I'm
Tony
saying
Allen
like
thing
you can
because Tony
you can
Allen when
you
he
can play
played
with them together.
because Tony Allen he wasn't a one really even a two skill set wise, but he would guard the ball handler because that was his role. So yeah, I mean yeah, you can make that work, but either way, like I would still like us, to add one of these 3-and-D guys at either the two or three or wherever you want to put him at, and kind of just let the point guard and Jalen be your first and secondary ball handlers, and then let everyone else kind of fall on after that. Yeah, so like, and then like probably at center, I will probably aim for someone who with a little more of a shooting upside because Clint really don't give you much shooting.
Which is and I feel Big O gives you a little shooting. But like
He gives you
so
a little
here's the
more, but
thing.
like I still like him off the bench. I probably would still prefer like someone with a little more shooting touch, whether that
So
be through
here's
the
the thing,
draft
right?
or other avenues.
You got Trey, and you say that you want to get something for him, right?
Yeah,
You look at the teams below you. Pistons, Wizards, Hornets, Raptors, Nets. None of them are trading for Trey, right? The Bulls and Heat, I don't really see anything them trading for him. Um, the Cavs might. The Magic, I got a hard
I
time
can't even
believing
see
that,
the
Willie.
Cavs doing it because the Cavs already got a decision to make at point guard, unless you're gonna give us one of them back in return.
Yeah, they would 1,000%
But
have to
then
part
it
ways with one of
depends
them.
on, and then it depends on like how much really changes if you trade for one of them.
That's exactly what I was. So that's the point I was getting at. Because like people talk about the Spurs, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you could maybe get a Spurs unprotected pick, but like after the second year, that's not even gonna be a lottery pick. The Trailblazers ain't giving you nothing. The Grizzlies ain't gonna be bad in the coming years, and they're not gonna trade for him. The Jazz might trade for him, but with Trey, they probably won't be a god awful team. They'll probably still be a lottery team just because the West is super tough. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not too everybody other than that, they're not going to be a lottery team. So it's like, yeah, you can get 3 picks, but like, what does that do for you?
And that's the question. What does it do for you? Because I honestly don't have the immediate answer. Because I would like a combination of like of picks and a a serviceable player that can at least do their role efficiently and at a moderate to high level.
All right. So we'll take the last couple minutes and kind of just look at perspective matchups. So it's kind of set in stone. The only difference is it going to be in Atlanta or be in Chicago? We should have a playing game versus the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? So like our next episode, season will be ended. We'll go ahead and break down the ins and outs of that playing game. But I like our chances versus the Bulls. Obviously they've been hurt. They've got their stuff going on. With our games with them usually come right down to the wire. I think that our huge hurdle, because right now the Pacers could drop. We haven't played them amazingly well, but the Pacers could drop into the 7-8 spot. And I like our ability to face them more than I do the Heat or the Sixers.
Yeah.
But I feel like if the Pacers play the Heat, they're gonna beat the Heat, and then it's us versus the Heat. If the Pacers play the Sixers, I think the Sixers beat the Pacers, and then it's us versus Pacers. But
I
that's a
don't I
lot
don't
of
want anything. I don't want anything that leads us to the Sixers.
yeah, no. So as currently constructed, if it's Sixers Heat, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't think the Sixers lose that 7-8 game, no matter who they're playing, whether it's the Pacers or Miami. I don't think they lose that 7-8 game. I honestly believe they push to the because they're on a 5 game win streak right now. If the Pacers slip up and lose one, they could get to the 6th spot and be safe. But I feel like if it's Pacers versus Heat, the Pacers with their pace of play, how they Halliburton really be on one. They just played and they won. Like
Nah,
I think the
Halliburton
Pacers
been
kind of
kind of
got you.
struggling though, because like I mean, he's obviously been playing through an injury, trying to fight for those All NBA on because he wanted to get them 65 games played, but it ain't looks good.
Mm.
So I don't know how when he's going to be back healthy, or if that's what he's going to be for at least the remainder of this season. If we get that Halliburton, I don't mind the matchup.
Yeah, I just don't think that. I don't even know what the Pacers' record is versus the Heat this year, but I don't know if they've lost versus the Heat this year.
But was that with or without was that with Halliburton fully healthy or not?
They just played them.
Oh well,
They just played them like the other day. So like, I don't know. I don't know if they lost versus the Heat this year. They kind of got their number a little bit right. And I say that like they don't have our number. Like I think we're 1-2 against them this year, if not 0-3. But I felt like we played them well. You know what I'm saying? We had
yeah.
that one game where we lost like a 20 some odd point lead, which was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But we had a 20 some odd point lead. So, and then hell, you get into the tournament, anything can happen, right? Like you get in
That's facts.
on the eight, you get in on the 8 seed. We've played the Celtics great this year. You know what I'm saying? It sounds weird, but like that's a better matchup for us than the Bucks. So I think we'll be major players this year on reshaping our roster, making. Because I don't think you can't go into next season with this.
You can't run this back. You can't run it back.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be one of the major stars are going to be the ones that's going to be moved. And I mean, not that you want anybody to leave, but like the worst place to be is just on the treadmill of mediocrity, bro. That's the worst place to be.
Just stagnant, just running the place. Because basically, right now we just running the place, so we got some gotta shake.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, you guys, thank y'all for tuning in to the Hawks Pod. Once again, hit us on all socials. Birds of a Feather. We on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that. Get those City Talk topics in so we can discuss them on the show. This has been the Hawks Pod. This has been your boy Q City.
Your boy Charles Bravado.
And we out.
Peace.
El Chapo, looking like I hit the lotto. I want a hottie like mulatto. I'm on hand, she on Moscato. I'm in them good till tomorrow. I'm a robber for the Neros. Yo, little laws, I'ma put you on payroll. You smell that aroma? Designer, it's a party, yeah. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency. I wake up early every morning. Thank the Lord and get the bag. Hustle hard, get the cash. Stack first, then I'm showing my ass. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency.
My babies, that's who I grind for. That's who I do it for. Like the Navy, that's who I'm toting that iron for. Keep one in the head like a thought, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with Ty, he a boss, nigga. Foot on their neck, I exhaust, nigga. Niggas cross me, so I cross, nigga. Them stripper was lit last night. 500, what it cost, nigga. Shit was really legit last night. Had them hoes at the house, nigga. Instagram, Snapchat, Triller. What they say about Jay, he a go-getter. Used to have them fat sacks in the grove, nigga. Late nights, early morning at my door, nigga.
You smell that aroma? Designer, it's a party, yeah. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20